Right, we all like to find some good value in real life, in FPL, doesn't matter. Gee, I'm looking at you for some budget picks this weekend. And I really want to focus on midfield if we can, because I feel like this is an area where obviously 5 spaces up for grabs, and we can get at least 2, probably 3 really good players in here for good value.
Yeah, and there are so many this week selling Sarr, selling Cunha. Like midfield transfers are a thing at the moment. We absolutely are shopping for midfielders. And there's so straight away, it's like, do you go for a like Cunha or Sarr replacement and spend, I don't know, 6-7 million-ish? And there's some good value players we'll discuss. Or is this an opportunity to go down to spend 5.5 million and then think about a plan for Erling Haaland? And many are using, say, Cunha as a cash cow to think about how they might upgrade, I don't know, an Ollie Watkins or a Gyökeres to a Haaland, for example, by game week 6. That's something I'm looking at my team. Before we do that, let's just look at the fixtures, because the fixture ticker helps us when we're scouting. And straight away, we're looking at like value midfielders for any teams in the top, sort of towards the top of the ticker. And we're about to touch on a midfielder from Aston Villa. We're going to touch on a midfielder from Tottenham. We're going to touch on a midfielder from Bournemouth. Really nice fixtures. That's not to say if you've got bad fixtures, you should be ignoring, I don't know, a midfielder further down. Like you could argue Harvey Barnes could prove to be good value despite Newcastle being at the bottom of the ticker, or Dewsbury Hall of Everton. But let's start, shall we, with the guy in the thumbnail. Let's start with Lucas Paqueta and Jack Grealish, because, I mean, they're clearly like, they've got, forget the fixtures for a minute, they've got the form, right? They've started the season so well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Paqueta's an interesting one. Hopefully he comes back from international duty in decent shape. But you look at the games that he's got coming up. This is a big game for West Ham this weekend. Obviously, they've got a win under their belts, which was an important one last time out. Tottenham at home, huge fixture for them. They need Paqueta bang in form for this one. And ultimately, like, the guy's committed himself to him now. He scored that penalty last time out, which is really important. So we know he's on pens. But obviously his goal celebration said a lot too. But for Paqueta himself, the form started to pick up. There's that potential too of good bonus points from him, right? Like if he does do well, there's a high chance that he does get bonus points and he gets DEFCON 2. So like Paqueta's all-round positioning does make him a better pick than I think we would have thought after those first 2 game weeks when West Ham was so bad.
Yeah, and it's the system that Potter uses with the back 3 and the wing back. It's an extra spot there in terms of he's often like a second striker. It's pack 10, right? He's playing number 10, and he's a bit of a mini Bruno. I know Bruno's been playing deeper, but he's good for DEFCON. He takes pens. He's the talisman. He's the best player. His celebration as well versus Forest, being like, I'm staying. Like, it was a really passionate celebration. Now, the fixtures aren't bad, but London derbies aren't great, and they've got 3 London derbies at home. Usually you see home fixtures and you go, that's a big win for me. I wonder with teams like West Ham, home fixtures can turn against you when the crowd get on your back. And we saw it against Chelsea. Fans were leaving the stadium at half time. Actually playing away might be good for West Ham. We saw them go to Forest and win 3-0. No one goes to Forest and win 3-0. Maybe they're going to be better on the road. So watch this space there.
Yeah, I like that.
We've got some numbers on Paqueta as well. I saw a tweet earlier. He is like a mini Bruno. These are the sort of figures you would see from a Bruno, right? Loads of touches, loads of ball recoveries. He's winning fouls. He's clearancing. He's scoring goals and creating chances. For 5.9 million, the problem is, do we trust West Ham to score goals, and do we trust West Ham to win football matches? Don't know.
No, and it's going to be random, I think. Like, that was a random result. And don't forget, the goals did come in like the last 10 minutes or whatever in that 3-0 win. So, like, how reliable is that? I'm not convinced. But Paqueta himself is a big season for him. Like, it's a World Cup year. He also is, like, playing to prove himself at a certain level within the market. If West Ham have a good season, then, yeah, he'll stay. If West Ham don't have a good season, he'll leave. Paqueta's, like, he was tempted to leave this summer. Like, when the interest came, his head was turned. Ultimately, he hasn't left, and he's staying. But, you know, this is definitely a pivotal season in his career. Equally, he feels like he owes West Ham a little bit because they stuck by him throughout his court case, and here he is still playing for them. So you get a lot out of Paqueta, and I think he's a really interesting pick. But so is the other man, I think, that we had on our graphic, Jack Grealish. Totally different type of player, certainly more flair. I think probably in these early weeks, it's fair that we can expect more output from Jack Grealish based on the style of play we've seen so far and the way that he's playing. And I think that this pretty much sums up what we've seen so far. No Everton player created more chances, provided more assists, or one possession more times than Jack Grealish. I mean, the last one's a bit weird because we wouldn't necessarily expect that. I just think it shows that we've got a happy Jack Grealish here.
Mate, last season at Man City, 2 assists. This season at Everton, 4. Like, it's mad.
Yeah.
And because he's winning back possession, he's doing well in the DEFCON, right? So he's going to get bonus points because he's good at all the underlyings. He's going to get DEFCON at times, which is bizarre from a wide forward. But he's also going to get all the minutes. There's no European football. So again, Grealish has always been part of a Man City squad that's had to travel midweek. He gets a week on the training ground. He's happy. Probably gets a little bit better social as well. He's going to be brilliant. Like, the big question here is he a better option than Ndiaye or Dewsbury Hall? Now, Ndiaye's the same price but takes penalties. Arguably a better goal threat, but Grealish will be better for the underlyings and better for assists. Maybe slightly better for minutes, and Ndiaye's had some early subs. Or is Dewsbury Hall just a pick? And look, I think they're all good. I think the entry point is fine against Aston Villa. The fixtures aren't too pretty, but Everton look like they're going to play with these low socks ballers, the 3 guys I've just mentioned, and they're going to score goals and have fun. You didn't expect that from Moyes, but you're seeing it. But maybe Dewsbury Hall's the answer. And when we look at the budget defenders, I've shortlisted Dewsbury Hall as one of 3 in this next graphic.
Yeah, we'll look at the graphic now. We'll get that up on screen because we are looking at budget here and what we're getting the best value for. And I think Dewsbury Hall probably does hold more value. Everton's next 3 home games are Aston Villa, West Ham and Crystal Palace. Those are the things that we look for in an Everton asset this season, I think. Like, anything away from home is a bonus. They want to make this new stadium a fortress. I think it can be. Dewsbury Hall's definitely a good pick. Grealish could be too. I'm not saying he's not. But ultimately, I think Dewsbury Hall at 5 million does capture the essence of what we're talking about here slightly better. And he's the cheapest out of these 3 too. Elliot Anderson at Nottingham Forest and Harvey Elliot now at Aston Villa, wearing the number 9 shirt, comes in at 5.4 mil. A player of this quality, if he'd have started the season as an Aston Villa player as this game was launched, there's no way he'd have been at this price point, is there? He'd have been 6.5.
Yeah, and he should be. Like, I think they've priced it, like, he's been priced for a squad man, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be so involved. He's going to be a starter, I think. It's a risky pick, and everyone's telling me how risky it is because we don't know he's going to start. I'd be surprised if he's not starting. Maybe Everton comes too soon and they want him to get 30 minutes first. By game week 5, he's going to be a starter, and I'm happy to punt there, especially if you're going without a Watkins or without a Rodgers. He covers you for the Villa attack that do play Burnley and Sunderland in the next 4. I think Elliot's high risk, high reward, and he's 0% owned. The safest picks are the other 2 on screen. Dewsbury Hall is getting 90 minutes, playing number 10, taking corners. He's great. But Anderson, for the highest floor, he should be getting 4 points most weeks. And in over 50% of his games, last season, he did pick up DEFCON. This season, he's picked up 11, 11 and 11. You need 12 to get the extra 2 points. He's been so unlucky. He's going to mop up in DEFCON. For England the other night, he picked up DEFCON by half time. I know it's England and it's Andorra, whatever, but he is that type of player. That's the role he plays. He's going to pick up so many recoveries. So Anderson is a more boring pick. I also wonder with Douglas Luiz, like, does Douglas Luiz take some of the set pieces off Anderson? Maybe. But Dewsbury Hall and Elliot, if I'm on wildcard, I'm picking them both. And I think, Dean, you are on wildcard, and there's a good chance both are in your team.
Well, I was just wondering whether I should have all 3.
Yeah. And then it allows you, like, if you have 3, 5.5 to 5 million men, you can get Salah, Haaland and a Gyökeres or a Watkins.
Easily,
and a good defence. These midfielders, I think, are the key. And I'd be tempted as my top Sarr or top Cunha replacement. I own Cunha. I'm probably buying Harvey Elliott. I own Dewsbury Hall. I also own Gianni Reinders. I think not much between, like, him and the guys we're looking at on screen. But the other option is a player that's not on screen that we should discuss because I think he's the most transferred in player so far this season, and he fits the bill as a Sarr Cunha replacement. Semenyo. Right at the top of the ticker for Bournemouth fixtures. Yeah. Greedy. Dean, he's in your wild card, but will he stay? I mean, he's great. He's great.
I think he will stay. I mean, whether you're looking at stats or you're looking at an eye test on Semenyo, like, he's doing it all. He could be that star for that team that kind of elevates what they were capable of this season. And that's why, but then you could have, I've got Salah, for example, I could have Semenyo, and you could have these other three in your midfield wildcard. Like that's reasonable. You can add it up and squeeze those in. Yeah, you would have to ditch Reinders. Yeah, it would mean you can't get in somebody like a Pedro Neto, which for me would be costly because I haven't got Joao Pedro. But ultimately, there is definitely capabilities around these as well as a Semenyo, so you can take all of them. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned those Chelsea mids. Pedro Neto, Enzo Fernandez, still also good in that price band. We are spoilt for options. There's lots of good midfielders. The truth is, no one really knows the answer. Small sample size, 3 weeks in. Back your instincts. Play FPL guilt-free the way you want to play it. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you're subscribing on the way out. And Dean, we got your wildcard live video coming in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, I've had my first go at my wildcard. Have a look at it. Comment underneath that as well and tell me what you think I've done wrong.